Hey guys, it's me. I got my kitten Taz here. He passed out relatively quickly. He's the youngest of all the cats. He's about 5 months old, and he's going to be a small cat because he was a runt of the litter. We got him from a friend down the street that just moved in September. It's my wife's friend, mom. Um, she was starting to hurt the animal because he kept crying. He was miserable. They didn't have air conditioning, and it was awfully hot in that place. So, once you got the air taken care of, everything was fine. But, we took him in, and we decided to keep him. So we're up to 8 cats, and we also got a rabbit because the rabbit was depressed, and the person taking care of it wasn't doing an awful good job of it. It would just sit and dwell in its own piss and shit, and me and my wife are both animal lovers, and we just couldn't. So we own a rabbit now. So that's 9 animals, but they're all happy, and we do keep the house clean. It looks wonderful. So everything is good. I mean, yeah, I got a mess here because, well, I'm a gamer. Not many of us gamers are clean. Well, I'm not a gamer in terms of modern because I could give a fuck less about the PS4 or the Xbox One. There's nothing on either system that interests me. The Wii U has a couple games I would play, but nothing of lasting value. This generation is shit, and I think it's going to be shit from this point on, so I kind of gave up the gaming scene. You modern gamers can go fuck yourselves because I'm sick of you anyway. You guys ruined the scene for me, so fuck you for that. But I don't care because I just don't care. I really don't. I don't give a shit. The game world sucks. Modern day, anyway. So I'm just going to work on the stuff I have, and hopefully I'll beat most of the games in my collection, if not all, by the time I die. Or by the time I'm just totally fed up with gaming. Okay, so anyways, that intro aside, let's get into the meat and potatoes of why I made this video. As you all know, my last video, I was so drunk and just so distraught that I broke down and cried like a bitch. And the reason for that is because there's a lot of things that have been going on in my mind lately. A lot of things that I just can't control. I've sorry, I'm retarded, so I gotta find a way to choose my words, because my brain don't work as well as everyone else's does at this age. A lot of things I've been thinking of. I'm gonna try to stay on point and not spread everywhere in this conversation, because I know I have a bad way of doing that. I don't know if that's part of depression or whatever the fuck. My social skills are broken as hell. I'm not social anyway. I go for my walks and I do my chair exercises, and then I come in here and basically just dick off on the computer or something. Sometimes I spend time with the wife, other times I don't. Like right now she's sleeping. Anyways, the other night I got really drunk. It was on Christmas night. And the reason why I got drunk is because Christmas is a horrible time for me. I'm glad it's over, but we still got New Year's, and then we get a whole year of doing all this bullshit all over again. I mean, there's nothing to look forward to. So the other night, though, I lost all focus. Just, and I broke down. I've been thinking a lot about just. I mentioned it a lot of times in my past videos, but I'm going to mention it again. Lately, my mind has been so much into my past. The good times, not the bad times, because, well, we all know nostalgia can be the biggest bitch of all time. But there'll be times I'll be laying in bed, or sleeping even. I was sleeping the other night, and where I'm from, there was a store called Skips. It's still there, but they had a video store within the store, and that's where I used to rent all my Nintendo and Super Nintendo games. It was a store that just blew my mind, and it was right down. It was like right there and somewhere very close by, and the games were cheap. They were at the time. It was like $250 a night. Now, it may not sound like it's cheap because really, as time went on, that wasn't cheap at all. You can go to Family Video and you can rent like games for 7 nights for $350 or something like that. Family Video is still in business, and that kind of baffles me. But if you know how to run your business, I guess you can beat the competition, which they had. But the other night I was dreaming that I was at Skip's getting some pizza because I loved their pizza. I would go there, get 2 slices and some Powerade, and then I would go to the video store and talk to 2 of the guys there, Skip, the guy who owned the video part of the store, and Terry, which I think was his brother or somebody in the family. And I used to talk to them for a little bit, and we used to bullshit about just the weather or movies that we want to see and stuff like that. And my dream was so livid, was so realistic. I mean, it's like I was actually there, you know, like I just left my body, went in, like out of my body, and went into my mind and went to that part of my life when I was happier, you know, where not exactly like 100% happier, but you know, I had places to go, things to do, people to talk to. I mean, I don't have that here in Oklahoma. I mean, I have my wife, you know, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a wife, but when you have no friends, you know, you get kind of bored of your spouse. Everybody does, and anyone that says they don't is a fucking liar. You know, you got other people you talk to. I mean, people are like, well, I get told, hey, why don't you reopen Facebook? Suck my dick. I'm not reopening Facebook. You didn't talk to me when I had it anyway, so why the fuck would you talk to me now? But I keep reliving these moments in my mind that I really had. I was in, you know, I had a focus in my life. Like, well, not focus. What's the word I'm looking for? I guess I felt like I had a place in life. You know, I don't anymore. I noticed that. I mean, the whole things we're brought up to believe, or the family, you know, bring you up to believe in life, was all just a bunch of pure bullshit. And you don't find this out until later in life. I mean, when you're a fucking kid, they tell you you're special, you're wonderful, you know, you're smart, you're gonna go places, you know, you're amazing. Just a bunch of head game, positive field bullshit that doesn't amount to anything. For instance, okay, when you're a kid, you kind of have a general idea of what you want to be when you grow up. I never had that. To this day, I still don't. There's nothing out there that I want to be. There's nothing there that I enjoy enough to actually work towards it. I know that makes me sound like I'm lazy. Not necessarily. I'm stupid. Seriously, I'm dumb. I'm retarded. I mean, it's not on paper, obviously, but those who've seen my videos or talked to me, or not talk to me, but see my videos and see how I act, see how I go about. I'm dumb. I can't think fast. You know, I can't. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I gave up streaming. I'm not entertaining, and if I get frustrated, I lose focus on what I'm doing in the stream. In my streams, I want to be both entertaining, informative, and funny, or at least to a point where you can enjoy yourself while watching my streams. Now, some of you may have liked the material. Okay, some of you may have loved it, but when I was trying to find the things to say to make it all those things that I've been trying to do for the stream, I hated it. And a lot of the time it ended up like when I was playing that Ninja Gaiden 2 in that one stream, and I had a really bad blood pressure spike, and it was awful. And I kind of blame the douchebag Dave because he wanted me to go ahead and play the sequel. I was just going to play the first one and then, have a rest and, call it quits and maybe do the sequel another night. But he's like, oh, go ahead and play part 2. And then everyone's like, yeah, go ahead and play part 2. So I was like, fuck it, I'll play part 2. And then by the time I got to the, 5th stage, I started feeling it. I felt the lightheadedness, the pressure in the sides of my head, and my hands were getting tingly. My blood pressure was going up. My heart was beating a little fast. It was just a lot of shit. It sucked. And I don't like disappointing people, too, even though they disappoint me all the fucking time. When I was growing up, a lot of the friends I've had always disinclude me in everything. And it wasn't because of my weight. In fact, they never told me, hey Taz, they never told me the reasons why they disincluded me. Like my brother and his friends, they would always go places. They never invited me. And my brother would always dance around the answer when I would ask him, like, is there a reason why you guys don't invite me to where you guys go? And he would just beat around it. I wish he would just be honest with me. And he'd just be like, dude, you're a total buzzkill to hang around or something. And then when I got older, I became a closed-minded prick. I don't like anyone else's taste in music. I don't like anyone else's taste in video games. I only like what this guy likes. I know that's narcissistic as fuck, but it's the only way I know how to be, I guess, content, and or at least content enough to live in this world. Because a lot of people just disincluded me in everything, and that's why I'm a loser, and I've accepted it. I hate it, don't get me wrong. No one likes being a loser. But we live in a world today that everyone focuses on social media, and they don't give a fuck about anybody, really, except themselves anyway. Self-entitlement. That seems to be a big bang of what's happening. I mean, it's an explosion of it. Everywhere you go, there's always some self-entitled bitch or prick that I just want to slice their neck open and watch the blood squirt out. But of course, again, that would land me in jail, which I don't want to be. Jail is not fun. I was locked up once. I don't want that to happen again. But I've just been focusing a lot of what went wrong in my life, and is there anything. And a lot of people they have that positive mentality, that goddamn piss poor, stupid cop out known as cognitive behavioral therapy and optimism. I fucking hate both of you people who believe in that shit. It does not work. It's a farce. You're tricking your brain into thinking everything ain't shit when you should really look at it and see what it is. Because if you do that whole cognitive bullshit or the optimism crap, you're bullshitting yourself and what really is out there. Just look at it for what it is. It's bullshit. And they're like, oh, so you're just going to be miserable the rest of your life? I'd rather be miserable and realistic than dumb and shit and fake being positive and think everything's okay when it's really not. That's ridiculous. Everyone does that shit. My wife does that shit, and it fucking drives me nuts. I even tell her, stop being a fucking fake ass and be realistic with not only me, but yourself. Stop being optimistic. Be realistic. And yes, I'm a pessimist. I know that. And you know what? I don't care. Why should I? I'm not pleasing anybody. I'm not, what's that word I'm looking for? See, I told you, I'm dumb. I'm not impressing anybody. I'm not selling myself. See, that's another thing. If I were to somehow magically no longer have anxiety and panic and rage and whatever the fuck is wrong with my brain, and I were to get a job, you have to sell yourself. I can't sell myself because I don't have one goddamn good thing to say about myself. I'm a fat piece of shit going nowhere, and that's just the way it is. I'm looking at it as the way it is. That's what it is. I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm worthless, I'm shit, and I don't understand why in the fuck my parents had to waste their goddamn time doing the deed to have a child and bring me into the shitty world which I cannot stand to live in. I can't stand it here. I hate modern day world. I'd rather live it back in the day pre-internet. At least life was better for me at that point. I mean, people live it every day on the internet. Because some people are social outcasts. They have no life unless it's online, and then that's sad. They can't go out and enjoy life anymore. I dreamed of when I got to this age, I would have a few friends. We could go out camping. I've said this a billion times. Go out camping, roast some weenies, have some bonfires, drink beer, fuck in front of that bonfire. You know, live life and enjoy it to the fullest. Instead, I'm just sitting here waiting for my goddamn demise. But there's nothing I can do about it. Everyone's like, oh, so you stop being lazy and go get a trade or go do this. There's nothing I like. There's nothing I can do. Why do you think I got fired so many times? Why do you think that happened? Because I'm dumb. They would tell me to do something. I would just stare at it like, I don't know what to do. Show me. But they don't want to because they're lazy and they expect you to just know just by looking at the damn thing. And that's every fucking job. And they expect you to have experience now. So how are you supposed to get experience when no one hires you, or when no one hires you to learn the experience of that job so you can have the experience? Then that's where you hear the same bullshit. We'll go to trade school or go get a trade. You know, and I try to take vitamins to better this shit. I take ginkgo biloba. Matter of fact, I just went from 60 milligrams to 120. I'm trying to better my brain functionality. It's not working. It's not. It is what it is. Oh. Sorry about that. If you heard that, it's cracking. It's black rum, sorry, at 47%. The shit will knock you on your ass after you have 2 steel reserves. Speaking of which, I'm supposed to get some drinkage for the new year. And actually, I'm going to get some real potent shit, so I'm so drunk that I near have alcohol poison. Might as well. The only thing that sucks about that is the next morning you have dry heaves and you sometimes have diarrhea. But given I'm having a daily constipation thanks to my my torsemide, Dandamex, the water pill, you know, it's because of that, you know, that I have constipation. I need to calm down because I'm starting to feel anxiety and my vision's doing weird shit, so I need to chill out. But that's what I mean. I don't have the skills. I couldn't get the skills. I went to college for a semester. The only thing I passed in was reading. Now, the spelling class I would have passed if my attendance was better. That's where most of them went. And I was at a position, guys, where I was working at Walmart as a maintenance worker. Yeah, because that's all I knew how to do, because they tried to put me in the back of the truck. And once again, I'm retarded. I didn't know how to make pallets. I tried, but they looked stupid, and they looked at me like, the hell you call this? And I said, well, I don't really know how to make pallets, but I try, and, you know, it takes me time to process it in my brain because I'm slow in the head. And they're just like, well, we can't have you doing this if you can't do it. So, I don't know, go do maintenance. I'm like, okay, bye, Taz. Thanks for spending time with me. You may help me feel a little better. And so I did maintenance. And every day I worked there, because it was just awful. Belle Isle Walmart, and you watch my videos, live in this accursed state that's a piece of shit. You'll know that place is hell on earth, without a shadow of a doubt. Anyways, they had a building across the street called the Valiance Bank. Or Valiance, something like that. Anyway, every day I would see that bank. At the time I was vaping. I was vaping an electronic cigarette. And I'll sweep in the cigarette butts. And what I was thinking was, you know, I'm going to jump off that thing. I'm going to find a way to go over there, bust through a window and jump off, go to the roof or jump off. I'm going to find a way to jump off. Because I was at a point where I was working constantly. I was the only guy maintenance on floor. I constantly asked my boss, Yolanda, I said, look, I need another maintenance man or woman that you can hire with this. I can't do all this myself anymore. I need the help or I'm going to snap. I was being honest and direct, and she said, all right, Scott, we'll find you somebody. Just hang in there. Give me about a week, and I'll get you somebody. 2 months went by. I finally snapped. Now, I didn't attack anybody, but I did throw some threats out of my mouth. I actually said, give me a couple C4s, I'll flatten this place more than Timothy McVeigh did in Oklahoma City. I actually said that. Bad choice of words. I wasn't arrested, but I basically, I threw my walkie-talkie, my name badge at my boss, at Yolanda. I told her to get fucked, I'm done. And I went outside, or actually first I went to the customer service, where they do returns and whatnot. They have a phone. Dialed my wife, told her I told her I got fired. I mean, she knows the truth now. I told her a few months after that I quit, but I said I got fired. If she wanted to come and get me, she could. If not, fuck it. I was basically planning on just going to the bank and doing the deed. So she was crying because you guys got to understand, we were living with her mom, and dealing with her mom on a day-to-day basis was pure hell for anybody, especially when you were in no position to move. I told my wife that after I was fired with Walmart, I said, I'll try to get another job, but we need to get out of here or your mother's dead. I was seriously at that point. And she was just like, okay, Scott, first off, you need to calm down. I'm like, no, I'm not calming down. Why should I have to calm down? When I've been living here for 3 fucking years, dealing with the same shit for 3 years, and my brain has had enough. I'm tired of it. I couldn't find another job, so... but Michelle noticed I was having like shakes and my breathing was heavy. There were a couple times I got up and just ran outside because I was panicking, having panic attacks. They were hitting me hard. Like, I just felt like I was dying. Like the very life out of me was being sucked out. I couldn't focus. My brain was just constantly, it was like a heavy feeling in my head, and constantly it wasn't a voice. It wasn't that. It was just a feeling like it's over. Any second it's done. I don't know if any of you have done this when you had a panic attack, but I grabbed my head like this and I screamed as loud as I could because I felt like I said, I felt like I was done. And of course, this was middle of the night. I'm surprised the cops weren't called. But my wife grabbed me by the hand and she said, look at me. She's like, breathe. Just breathe. Don't try not to think. Try not to focus on, I know you feel like you're going to die or you're dying, but you're not. Just breathe. I couldn't feel my feet. My feet were completely numb. My arms felt like the veins in them were about to burst. It was awful. I remember that night like it was yesterday. It was absolutely horrible. I had a similar experience when I was 16. Except that was induced by cigarettes. And I was starting to wondering if the vaping was causing the panic attacks. In fact, after I started getting panic attacks, I was getting vertigo just by taking the drag off an e-cig. And I'm starting to wonder if it was the PG or the VG. But it seems like every 6 years I either smoke, and in this case vape. After I hear the 6 year mark of that, I start panicking or having panic attacks or anxiety. It's weird. I had to give up vaping, and I hate that. I would like to have something to keep myself calm, but maybe in a few years when I'm finally got my head on straight, if it ever goes straight. But see, I got sidetracked again, and I'm sorry. But I've been living a lot in my head lately of past moments in my life that I enjoyed. And yes, I know I spoke very coldly of my ex from back in 2000. she broke my heart. I love that woman. I kissed the ground she walked on. I did everything. I know, nice guy syndrome. We always get kicked in the ass. But see, she got off on hurting guys, and I did, and I was blind, far too blind to see the truth in that regard. But I really love that woman, and she broke my heart. I sometimes lay in bed and think about her because she was my first love. You could be married to the most beautiful, charming, wild in the sack kind of woman. The kind of woman that meets your requirements of a happy marriage. But the truth is, you're always going to think about your first love. You're always going to think about the times you had because it really impacted you. But of course, back in 2000, even though I spoke about it many times, I'm going to use The Wedding Singer to best quote how I feel about that situation. Women rip your heart out of your ass when you fall in love with them. In fact, I'll try to imitate that scene. I'm not Adam Sandler. I'm not skinny or whatever and Jewish, so he's like, women, man, you just have fun with them. You fall in love with you, and what do? They rip your heart out of your ass. Exactly. And that's the truth of the matter. Yeah, I'm married now, but trust me, I got hurt by her. I still get hurt by her. In fact, I feel like her pain pills are more important than her husband. I honestly think that way. So, I love my wife, and I'm gonna see it through to the end. But if there's nowhere else we can go, then we'll do steps necessary to either salvage what has been ruined, or we'll split. I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon, though. I'm just speaking, outside the box. No, we're good. We're good for each other. We're a good match. We really are. She has, believe it or not, she has a lot of problems up here too, and I think she has a little bit of bad daddy syndrome. She did have a bad dad, though. Nothing in the sexual realm, but the abuse up here. And I feel bad for her about that. No one should have to deal with that kind of abuse. See, my parents, now she watches this video, she'll probably kill me for saying that on camera, but I'm at a point where I just don't give a shit. When I was a child, my parents made me believe at first that I was their special little guy. I could do anything I wanted and this and that and blah fucking blah. The bullshit parents feed us, right? But then there came a time when I don't know if I mentioned this on camera, but I'm going to mention it again just in case. We went to the church thing when we were a kid. We went to a lot of churches. And I don't remember why we were kicked out of that one, or if we were kicked out at all. Or I think we just stopped going because someone that my mother knew stopped going to that church because something happened. I don't remember. It's a long time ago. Anyway, they had this little thing where you could go to the church, pay a $2 fee, and then you play games. Like, not video games, obviously, but, games like Hot Potato and musical chairs. The simple, mindless games that you played as children. My parents were hosting it's a game where you take a fishing pole and you pull up a bottle with the hook. Both of my parents said this is what they said. They're like, I don't think you can do this, son. My dad says. Mom says, yeah, not even the big kids can do this. I did it first try. Got my tickets. Neither of them had not a congratulations, not wow, you impressed me, nothing. Just handed me my tickets, gave me a fake bullshit smile, and I went about my way. I had enough tickets to get a He-Man action figure. Or was it Silverhawks? Come to think of it, I don't remember. I think it was one of those. It could have been G.I. Joe's. It was something. Or candy. Shit. Yeah. Alzheimer's at 33. So, yeah. And throughout my whole life, it's been like that. All my father did was sleep. Growing up, sleep. I come home from school. He come home from work. He just pass out. But there's a reason for that. My mom constantly put him down, killed his self-esteem. So it's no wonder why he just came home and go to sleep. In fact, that I read, and it's pretty common for marriages that are unhappy. Sometimes the spouse goes to bed early, so they don't have to deal with their spouse for the rest of the evening, rest of the day. My dad worked the morning shift. He worked from 6 to 3. He was working at Aetna, and Aetna is a place where they work on dyes and shit like that, or printing, not printing. What the fuck? Metal presses. Once again, me, dumb. He fucked up. He got fired from there because he fucked up the dye on one of the presses. That's what I was trying to get at. Anyway, he worked from 6 to 3, and every time my mom would go and pick him up, he'd come home and go to sleep. There was a couple times I got into a fight where my mom was like, your kids come home from school and you just go to bed. You don't even spend time with your kids. Why don't you? Here's a better thing, mother. Why don't you spend time with your children? She just claimed herself to be the world's best parent. She did everything for her kids. She didn't do shit for us. In fact, all 3 of us, because of her stupidity and her dumb retardedness of how she raised us, and my dad's unwillingness to be a father figure, we were pretty much left to fend for ourselves after high school ended. We didn't know what we were doing in life. They never taught us any life skills. None whatsoever. We had to learn pretty much most of the stuff we know today on our own. And it's kind of depressing when you think about it, because it is the job of the parents to basically prepare their child for the world that is out there. Because this world is a cutthroat one, and if you don't know what you're doing, you're pretty much you might as well just kill yourself. You either you could kill yourself, or you could just fuck all and just not care. Don't do anything. And it's depressing because, why be brought into the world if, you're just set up to fail? And that's pretty much how we were. Now, my brother got lucky. He works at a factory currently in Detroit. Excuse me. And he makes decent money, and he's a hard worker, and, obviously his skills and his speed are what keeps him that job, and he keeps getting raises. He's making good money now. He's still living with my mother though, and I wish he would just move out. He's scared of but see, that's another thing. It's not his fault. He's scared to leave. I was scared to leave. Because I was leaving my safe haven, the place that was safe to me, even though my mother was not a safe person to live with necessarily. She would always find ways to down me, and I've always said time and time again, I did everything for that woman. I did her dishes, I mowed her lawn, I shoveled the walk. I would do, many, just adjusting my feet, there we go. I do many things for her. And every time she'd be on the phone with one of her friends, yeah, my boys don't do shit for me. I'm like, you mean my brother Michael, because I'll be honest, my brother doesn't do shit for my mother. And then she would say, yeah, well, Scotty does things here and there, never give me any kind of credit. And that was hard to deal with that all the way into the days I moved. And it's like, I make it to this point in my life, and it's like, just why? Why? What? The fuck? I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea where I'm going. I don't know what's going to happen. I try not to worry about it too much, because even if something bad were to happen so catastrophic, I would probably just lay down and die, because I have no drive to do anything. I'm basically a 33-year-old. I feel like a 78-year-old male in a 33-year-old body. And just knowing it's going to get worse, Gives me a lot to look forward to, doesn't it? I know this video is painfully long, and I'm sorry. And I hope some of you are getting some... I mean, I'm not... This video has really no point. It really doesn't. It doesn't have a point. It doesn't have a thing. I'm just... This is more of a depression sober... Being depressed sober. I mean, I pretty much told you guys how I feel about certain things. I mean, I don't see my life getting any better. I don't see things getting better. I mean, yeah, you got to have the drive to do it, but if you don't know how to have the drive to do it, you can go and do it, sure, but then you're just going to stand there looking dumb because you don't know what to do. Your mind can't process it. That's the problem I have. My mind can't process things that you guys can process in a blink of an eye. I'm serious about that. With puzzle games, I'll sit there for like an hour and I still won't be able to figure it out while you guys already would be 15 levels ahead. I'm serious. Yeah, is my self-esteem poor? I don't have poor self-esteem. I have no self-esteem. I know I'm a worthless, useless sperm. I know that it's hard. Well, it's not hard to hear this. Some of you are probably laughing your asses off right now. You know, probably can't breathe. Have to have a paper bag so you can breathe because some of this shit is just pure comedy gold to you. Because I know how much I'm hated on the internet and I really don't care. I'm not trying. I don't care for popularity. Or do I care about popular people? Well, it's about 5:46 in the morning. Guess I better wrap this up and try to get some sleep. Got a couple errands to do tomorrow. My mother bought me a Walmart gift card because I told her I needed new shoes. And, you know, being when she's in her good mood. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I just remembered I didn't wrap something up. The hell was that? Anyway, I didn't wrap something up. It was about my mother and my father. My father eventually just gave up on the whole thing. My brother moved out into a house that was a mile away from my mother's house, and he moved all of his crack-headed, pie-headed buddies in there, and they caused a lot of problems. Cops were there almost every day. It was ridiculous, and give me a minute to think because my mind's just going being stupid right now. And my father just said, okay, I had enough. I'm leaving. Fuck this shit. Fuck you. So he left my mother, and my brother opened him up a room for his own. He could close the door and all that. He was working at Walmart being night stock at the time because, like I said, he got fired from Aetna. And my mother's feet, you know, she has a demon like me. And she could not stand on her feet in there. She was trying to talk to her, like, is there a way I could, like, sit down and greet people, you know, or, you know, at least sit down and partial of my shift because of my feet and legs. And they're like, yeah, we'll work with you. And then they basically terminated her. Yeah. No, it's not surprising, but, you know, then she worked at there's this place called Arden Courts. It was 14 Mile and Mound, I want to say. And she was a kind of like a caretaker, cleanup person, and that was her last job she ever worked at. Because she never finished high school. See, I got one up on that shit. All of us did. Except my sister got a GED. Well, I pretend my sister doesn't exist because I hate that bitch. I don't want nothing to do with her. I don't talk to her. Don't care to ever talk to her ever again because you think I'm fucked up. I'm actually sane compared to that. Whatever the fuck she is. I don't know if you can call that a succubus or Lilith or whatever. You know what? Forget it. My brain ain't going to process it properly. So, well, she's a piece of shit. And I don't talk to my brother because, I mean, he just stopped giving a shit about me when I left, so. And then, you know, I have some of the friends on my Google Hangouts, you know, you can text people on there. And I text them here and there. You know, but most of the time they don't talk to me. Or I say something that pisses them off, like, I guess Lemmy from Motorhead died. I don't like Motorhead. I think they're a shitty band, and my friend just stopped writing me, because I told him I was closed-minded towards music, because I am. Like I said earlier in this video, I'm closed-minded to me, because that's just the way I am. That's the way I learned to survive my adolescence without putting a bullet in my head or whatever the fuck. I mean, even though I tried, but I'm still here, obviously. Bleeding shame to some, a blessing to others. I don't know, don't care. I really don't. But the pinnacle of the story is my dad. He left to Indiana, got remarried to his high school sweetheart. My mom's alone and miserable, and I got to hear it every time I call her. No one calls me, no one comes over, no one talks to me. Yeah, I wonder fucking why. She's not a pleasant person to talk to after a while. She expects everybody that's around her to do everything. It's like, Mom, if your friends want to do something for you, they will. If they don't, then they won't. They don't have to. No one is... I mean, you're like Paulie from Rocky. You know, he says that friends owe, and Rocky says friends don't owe, friends do because they want to do. She still needs to learn that, and she's in her 70s. Go figure, right? Wow. Alright, well, I know I rambled in this video like always, and I'm going to go ahead and apologize. I'm sorry if I didn't go for... I've been living a lot in my head, guys. I've been remembering the good times of my life. I don't know if that means anything, but it's like a beautiful sadness. Sometimes I cry from it. Other times I just get mad at myself for the stupid choices I made. You know, we all self-reflect, but when you're in a position like me where you have no friends to talk to, you're too much into your mind, and and you just wonder if one day you're going to self-implode. I'm serious about that. You feel like you're just going to zap out of existence, and that's a sad way to feel. Life has so many things in it, but everything costs fucking money. Every fucking thing. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, okay, great, I want to go to I don't know, Frontier City, which is the Cedar Point of Oklahoma City. And I want to go there and ride some rides. Well, guess what? I'm too fat, first off, and secondly, it costs money. Don't have it. I want to go to the zoo, go to the snake house. Snake house is awesome. I went there once when I actually had money in my pocket, and then, well, guess what? It costs money, and it's winter time, and we just had a winter storm down here. Everything's iced over, and I can't even go outside to walk now. I have to do chair exercises, and they make me dizzy. I don't like doing those chair exercises, but I do them for my health. Everything costs fucking money. The only thing that doesn't is going to the park. And when you go with somebody that has to take fucking pain medication constantly and she doesn't have any, then there's no point in going there with her in the first place. It's like, I wish I had like maybe some kind of buddy I can go out there, throw a frisbee around, play some disc golf, something. I mean, when you sit in the same roof every day, all day, you lose your ever-loving mind. It's like cabin fever, or it is cabin fever. I mean, yeah, I'm going somewhere tomorrow, but it's just to buy shoes, and then guess what? I come back here. And maybe what I'm speaking of is a lot like speaking like my mother. But there's a difference. There's just nothing down here that interests me. If I was home, there are a few places I could go. I could go to the bowling alley and throw a few throw a few lanes, because I love bowling. There's shit, I don't know. There's a bar some of the guys at high school go to. I could go there, say hi, drink a couple beers, bullshit a little bit. Here in Oklahoma, all you have is these fucking backwoods redneck pieces of shit that fucking piss me off. They think they're hard and they're weak as shit. I mean, there's a bar across the street from here. I could go and karaoke if I wanted to, because I like to karaoke. But I'm not going to, because I'm socially awkward and I'm kind of antisocial in a way. If I had a way, I would go to the park myself when it's nice outside and just, throw the frisbee with myself. A pretty pathetic sight that would be, but at least it'd be something. I don't know. Like I said, guys, if you have like a lot of freedom or a little bit of money to do things, don't ever take it for granted. Or if you need fuel to make you better appreciate the things you do have, Just look at this guy. You don't want to be this guy in any way, shape, or form. You don't want to have this weight. You don't want to have this face. You don't want to have this ugly mug and this, pubic hair on my face. You don't want that. I like this beard though. It keeps my neck warm during the wintertime. Yeah, neck beard. Ha ha ha. Very funny. Yeah, just look at this guy. That should be all the motivation you need. I don't have any motivation for anything. I guess I'm just waiting. Like the Ozzy song, "Waiting for Darkness." It's a good song if you ever hear it. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the video. This is going on way too long. Apologize. I don't know. If New Year's permits and I feel like it, maybe I'll make another video. Maybe I won't be a morose drunk, but I could be a happy drunk. We'll see. It really depends. But I hope you guys have a good night. Take good care of yourselves. And if I don't come on New Year's, I hope you all have a great and fun New Year's. Enjoy your life. Have lots of sex. I won't be having any. Enjoy the friends you're partying with. Don't get too crazy and drunk. I mean, just fuck like it's your last day on earth. Get drunk. It's like it's your last day on earth. Just enjoy what New Year's brings and have lots of fun, because never take that for granted, or you can turn into a guy like me, and I won't want that for even my worst enemies out there on YouTube. So, I'm gonna cut the bullshit, sit here and mope for a couple minutes, and then I'll probably go to bed. I'm gonna go ahead and upload this video. It's going on 6 o'clock. I should go try to get some sleep, because I don't know what time my wife wants to go to Walmart tomorrow, so I can get me some shoes. We'll see. Anyways, take care of yourselves, and we'll talk at you another time. I hope my stories proved a little bit of entertaining, and all of it's 100% true. I talk no bullshit because I'm realistic. Remember that. You guys have a great night. Take good care of yourselves.